Hi, I'm Kaitlynn. I'm from the United States, and I would like to share a little bit about my testimony. So, basically, to start out, I grew up in a Christian family. My parents brought me and my siblings to church every Sunday, and particularly, my mother would read Bible stories to us every night before we would go to sleep and pray for us. And so I grew up often hearing just about Jesus and the different characters in the Bible, but the person that stood out to me the most was Jesus because of his kindness and the way that he would single out the one and pursue them, the way that he was just so good at seeing people and caring for them, knowing exactly what they needed to hear. So even though I was very young, I was very attracted to that. And I really wanted a friend like that. Like that was my thought process as a 5-year-old. I really wanted to have a friend like that. And so I remembered that our Sunday school teacher, which is a class before church for children, she would tell us that we could talk to God anytime through prayer and that he would always be with us if we asked him to be a part of our life. And so I remember being about 5 years old on the school bus on my way to school for the first time, and I was terrified. It wasn't a long ride to school, but I quickly remembered what my Sunday school teacher had told us. And the way she described it is accepting Jesus into your heart, into your life. And I was wearing this heart necklace. And so I thought, oh, okay, if I ask Jesus to be a part of my life, then I won't have to be afraid anymore because he will be with me. And so, yeah, in that moment, I did that. And so from then on, growing up, I just remember really being in conversation with him throughout the day and hearing him, feeling him speak to me about who to encourage, maybe what to share with someone. And I just really enjoyed getting to know him more and more. Life felt like an adventure with him because he just always made things special in a way because of the way that he inspired me. And so it wasn't until middle school that my life started to get a lot harder. There were 3 people from my extended family that passed away very suddenly. And I had never experienced grief and death before. And so I remember that being very difficult because my whole family was grieving, but yet we all kind of isolated during that time to grieve, I guess privately. So that was very difficult. I also remember being at school and how it seemed like all of my classmates had this special talent, whether it was for music or sports or academics. And at the time, it didn't really seem like I had any specific talent or gift that I had at the time that would give me an appearance of success like the other students had. So I was also feeling a bit forgotten by God, why can't I be like these other students who are super athletic or whatnot? And besides that, I just in general got picked on for my faith, telling my friends about how excited I was about reading the Bible and about people in other countries who were suffering, and how I just wanted to bring awareness to that even as a kid was really important to me. And so basically that happened over the span of about 3 years, and I didn't really have close Christian friends my age that I could count on, that I could talk to and that could really encourage me in my faith. And keep in mind that also my family was grieving at this time. So it was also just in general, I think a lot of us were feeling pretty lonely. So there were some other really hard things that happened at the time, but basically I became very depressed. And when I was praying, reading the Bible, and things were not getting better, I also felt, I think the hardest part was feeling that maybe God had given up on me in some way, or that there was some mistake I had made to make him not want to use me anymore, not be in my life. I didn't have this feeling anymore like I used to. And so what ended up happening is I knew my parents were going to go away for the weekend for a little bit. I knew that my parents were going to be gone for an evening, and I was going to be home alone on one day that was coming up. And I was doing research and stuff about how to end my life. And I had chosen this specific day. And for me at the time, that just felt like the only answer, like to make the pain stop and the grief and the loneliness and everything that I was feeling at that time. And so as that day approached, I had a person at school who also attended another church. She invited me to come to a Christian conference. And I really wanted to have hope that I could feel close to God again and that life was not always going to be sad and lonely. And so even though I already had this plan, I decided, I was like, I really want to believe that God will meet me again at this conference and that in the future I will have close friends who follow God. So I ended up choosing to go to the conference instead. And it was there that I really encountered the Lord again. I remember there was this worship song that they sang that said, "What you're looking for is in my hands." And for some reason, that was exactly what I needed to hear at the time. And the depression that I had, that was like a fog on my mind that made me not feel like myself, or made me not able to like feel God's presence or even care from others during those like 3 years, it just lifted in that moment. And again, I was thinking clearly. I had hope for the future. I was again excited about pursuing the Lord and feeling His nearness and being used by Him. And I came back with this renewed hope and continually like walking step by step again with God, sharing my testimony about what God had done and delivering me from this depression that I had and the sadness of losing my family members. And so since then, God has just used that time for me to comfort and care for others who are dealing with grief or trauma or loss, or just extended hardship. The Lord has given me a compassion and empathy, and just remembering that even just maybe I don't always have the right thing to say, but just being present and listening to those who are hurting is the same way that the Lord, is comforting me. So, that's my testimony.